Anytime now. Today, Bilbrey.
It's the Bilbrey and Clark Show. Two middle-aged troublemakers, no script, zero political correctness, and maximum opinions. If you're looking for a safe, polite chit-chat, you're in the wrong place. So get ready for a no-filter dive into current events, pop culture, and maybe even a midlife crisis or two. With plenty of sarcasm, laughter, and perhaps a profound thought from time to time. Tune in, turn it up, and let's roll, because this is the Bilbrey and Clark Show.
Hey, I just want to say that all the time. I can't believe it. We're finally here. Ladies and gentlemen, you thought we left and we're going to return after episode 3 because that's what so many people do. But we are here. This is episode 004 of the Bilbrey and Clark Show. I'm your host, Christopher H. Bilbrey, and that woman right over there is...
Rachel Clark.
Oh my God, she knew her name. All right, we're getting there.
It only took 4 times.
It only took, well, really 5. The first time didn't count. It was a dry run.
Doesn't matter. Nobody saw that one.
That's right. I see it still every day. I got to get rid of it eventually. But so here's the deal. We have talked about this. So first and foremost, I apologize about last week. We both... So it's really strange. We both had issues that were popping up, and we could have recorded in this little tiny window, but I had a massive sinus headache migraine, and so it was my fault. But I had a death in the family, and how the death fell versus when the funeral was, I've been able to milk it for like almost a whole 2-week period. So that was my fault. Rachel had a family obligation that she had to deal with. So we are so very sorry about not being here
last week.
I keep saying last week because I feel like it was last week, but we're not going to do that. That's my greatest thing is like, I'm thinking, oh my God, people that are listening are going to think, where are they? They're not going to be here. This is a flop, because that's what so many podcasts do. But this is like a whole life to me. And like, I have a whole nother show, the Political Spotlight, and I do it nightly. So if there's ever a time where we do miss something, we are not quitting. We are going to be here, whether you like it or not. It is coming back time and time again, So
for yourself, you make me mad a lot. So.
Right. It's always possible. You never know. Well, then I got thinking that maybe you were going to be sick this time. And I was like, dude, if she's sick, I'm going to have to go on alone. I'm going to do it alone.
No voice.
Yeah. I mean, you sound kind of like cool, like Danger, Smokey, whatever.
Whiskey.
Yeah, kind of like that. It's like that. But that's that. So sorry about that, but we're here. Better late than never. Episode 404. And I think that we promised to make it happy and funny and up and go lucky. I don't know that it's going to be any more special or happy or funny. Maybe it should be. We'll try. But I feel like just with this whole last week, I kind of feel blah. And let me tell you, start out the show. So I like chicken. I'm a big chicken person. Like I like steak, but if I'm given the choice, like there's a period of time where if I haven't had steak in so long, I'll be like, okay, I want steak. But just on a routine basis, if someone asks me like, well, yeah, what do you want? And the option is like getting some kind of like beef or chicken, I'm gonna go chicken. I'm a chicken person, and I like chicken all kinds of different ways. But I'm not a big fan of Popeyes chicken. Do you like Popeyes chicken?
Nope.
Have you ever had that?
Yep. I don't like the breading.
Yes, that's the thing. So my brother has been in. I have two brothers. A brother that is I'm the oldest all the way around, but I have a brother that's very close in age to me. He's 3 years younger than I am, and he's the brother that I'm like very, very close to because we grew up together. And then my other brother is a lot younger than I am. He's like 24, so we're like he could be my son, and it's kind of always been more like a uncle nephew type relationship, although he came to live with me after our dad passed away when he was 16, so we've gotten a lot closer. And I always figured that as he got older and we grew in adulthood together, we would get closer, which we have. But my brother that is closer in age to me, he's in the military, and he currently is stationed in Sicily, and he came in for this funeral that we had. It was his grandpa, biological grandpa, my step grandfather, and so he came in for this funeral, and he's been staying with me for the last couple of days. And when he got here, he was like, "Ooh, I want to get Popeyes Chicken." And I was like, "I don't think we have that here." And he's like, "What?" He was like, "Why? That's uncivilized." Because before he lived in Sicily, he lived in Houston. So he's living in a big city. I mean, we live in a big city here in Indiana, but it's not anything like Houston. And so I told him, it's like, "I don't think we have Popeyes Chicken." Well, then we drove right by the Popeyes Chicken in Muncie. And he's like, "You lied to me." And I was like, "No, dude, I didn't." But it just opened here not too long ago. So to my credit, I didn't know we had it. So I was like, "Okay, we can eat there." So we ate there today, like at 11 o'clock. And I have had horrible heartburn ever since. And like I forgot that that's what it is. And periodically I think like, "Oh my God, I think I'm having a heart attack." And I have to remind myself that I had this god-awful Popeyes chicken. First of all, it's like dark meat. And it's just, ooh, God, I just can't believe that people love this. He loves it.
It's disgusting.
I did not think it's good. I'm glad that you do. I just knew I was going to say this, and you're going to be like, "Oh yeah, I love it," or "I've never heard of that." But I'm
But
glad that
remember,
we agree.
I'm the world's pickiest eater. My
That's
food can't touch. I don't like fruits. I don't like vegetables.
Now
I eat
that's weird.
I don't care for chicken. I'll eat it, but it's gross.
Really?
Right.
You're
No.
you're like a steak eater, a beef eater?
Mhm.
Okay.
I have eaten steak how many times this week? Let's see. I went to Ruth's I went to St. Elmo's past weekend. Then I went to Tony's. Then I went to I did have crab leg at Ocean Air, but I ate steak somewhere else too. I don't know.
She's basically been on vacation this week.
I was waiting. This is episode 4, and I was out of
Yeah.
town this week in a hotel.
On vacation, ladies and gentlemen. No, she's been at work,
Yeah,
which is
definitely not
kind of like a
vacation.
vacation.
Up in the morning, we roll in about 2 in the morning, and then get right back up and do it again.
It's the life and times of a salesman.
Yeah,
Even though
entertaining
you're a female. What?
entertaining people is exhausting.
Yes. You go in and watch The Boiler Room and Glenn Ross and all the good sales always be closing.
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie?
Yes. A little bit of it.
Amazing.
It is
You
funny.
don't watch a lot of movies.
No, Ryan was over there this week, and she was so excited. This is like her, and this is a world conference. So there were people from everywhere, all over the world there. And she's getting her foot in and she's getting things going. And she was so excited because like my work took her work. They're a big customer of ours to dinner. And so she was excited because, Tony's is like one of the most expensive places in Indy. And so she was super pumped and she's like, "Oh, I get Tony's for free." And then her job, one other company, they were there three nights. Her company got invited by another vendor. And guess where they took them? Tony's. And it was funny too, because when you got to order whatever you wanted when we took them.
Yeah.
When they were with the other company, they had like a picked menu for them. So they didn't even get to choose.
Wah.
So yeah, she was so excited.
You
And
can
had
always
to
kind of tell who's on top by what the what the situation is there.
Yep. Hey, before we get started,
Yeah.
since I don't feel good, I'm in a very sassy mood,
Yeah.
and I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So, if everybody would give a round of applause to Bob Witham, the Henry County judge. Let me tell you, this guy just overdoes himself every fucking time. Did you see where he let the sex offender molesting a kid under 10 off with a suspended sentence?
No, where's that happening at?
Henry County, where I live.
And was he wasn't a special judge and it was actual situation
No, it was
in
Witham
Henry
was the
County?
judge. He had a guy, he gave him time served. He
Okay.
was looking at like 1,300 days,
Yeah.
and he gave him time served, and he did no fucking jail time.
And that was Bob
Witham.
Witham.
You've heard me bitch about him
Oh yeah,
forever.
yeah, I know. And Bob Witham in Henry County. He is a circuit court judge or superior judge.
I don't know what he does. He drives me insane. That's what he does.
So yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Judge Bob Witham. And
I'm so mad.
yeah, that's so bad.
I mean, thanks to him, every parent in Henry County now has to watch their kids a little bit closer because he can't fucking do his job.
Is there a news article about this or anything like that?
Okay, you ready? Guess who wrote the article?
Who did?
Doug Walker.
Oh.
Covered shit in Muncie.
Yeah, that's such a weird thing. How old was the offender?
Like 50?
Okay, so it was like it wasn't like and it doesn't matter, but it was like an old man. It was like an actual pedophile. It wasn't like a, some
not like
kid
an
around.
18-year-old, not an 18-year-old, no 15-year-old.
Do you know the name?
A Newcastle man who faced a child molesting charge carrying up to 40 years in prison has been placed on probation after pleading guilty to a lesser count. James David Hall, 50, pled guilty in Henry County Circuit Court 1 to child solicitation, a level 5 felony with a maximum sentence of 6 years. However, a plea agreement signed in September called for the Newcastle man to receive a 3-year sentence, suspended except for time already served in Henry County Jail. The deal also called for a dismissal of the molesting count, a level 1 felony. On October 16th, Judge Bob Witham imposed the sentence with 1,062 days suspended and the remainder of the 3-year term to be spent on probation. Hall will be required to register with local authorities as a sex offender for 10 years. When the Newcastle man,
only 10 years?
Yeah. When the Newcastle man was charged in March of 2023, he was accused of sexually abusing a girl under the age of 10. The charge he pled guilty to alleged that he solicited a child at the time 8 years old to engage in fondling or touching to arouse or satisfy the sexual desires of either the victim or Hall. Well, first of all, no 8-year-old girl is going to have sexual desires. According to court records, Hall had earlier convictions. So this is not a one-time offense, and I don't care if it's sexual related or not, of battery, theft, driving while drunk, public intox, and possession of marijuana. So at least 5 other arrests. He was looking at 60 years, and he does no time. Fuck you with him.
So I'm gonna tell you this. This doesn't even get. This is not. See, this is a problem. I think you would not read this in Delaware County. The prosecutor's office in Delaware County would not offer this plea to this, because here's the thing: judges don't have to accept the plea. And the judge in this case should have said, "This is obscene. I don't accept this. Work something else out." But the prosecutors get the first shot of getting the shit,
Call
because they should not have put this forward. What?
Call Hoffman. I want to see what he says.
Well, I guarantee you he would think this is. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna do it right now. Send me the link. Send me the link to this article. This is not a.
When am I sending it to you in?
Messenger. This is a really ridiculous plea.
Yeah.
And what I don't understand is the fact that they only make him a sex offender for 10 years.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but if it is a child, look, sex offenses are sex offenses. Okay, if you are a sex offender, you're a sex offender. If you're raping or sexually offending a grown woman, that is a problem, and I feel like those people should be offenders for life too. But I could see situations where something could be a little, winky or whatever, or you've got kids in high school that are dating, and they're freshman and sophomore, freshman and junior, and then the guy graduates, and ages, what happened, and things happen. And if somebody gets in trouble, I don't know that should necessarily ruin their life for life. Maybe the 5 or 10 years there. But if you've got somebody that is molesting somebody under the age of 10, that is a lifetime sexual offender.
Unless he were 90. And then you know what? Okay, give him 10 years. If he makes it to 100, congratulations. You're not on the registry.
Yeah.
But no, this guy is young enough still, and he's out on the street. So, it'd be different if he got a 60-year sentence and then only 10 years after he got out. But so, if you can go 70 years, Bob Witham did not protect this child, period.
No, 100%. 100%.
And I am so sick of these judges. Look at the two kids that I went on a rant about this, that their dad killed them. The mom went and begged the judge not to make them, for her to take them immediately. Didn't happen. The kids got killed. The mom said he'll kill them. And he did. And it happens more this is such a small town. And Henry County, it's happening. Well, I talked about it with my cousin Shelly, literally. Okay. So I'm done ranting. We need to just set 5 minutes aside every episode so that I can.
No, I don't know. I think this is a big deal. This is a big deal. It is a big deal because you're seeing this, but and everybody should take the blame here. It's not, first of all, all right, I get it. The defense attorney is going to do the defense attorney thing. Whatever. You're fighting for your client. Everybody deserves a fair trial. All right. So I'm not giving the defense attorney fault here. They're doing defense attorney things. But the prosecutor's office here, and look, for the people who aren't in local, East Central Indiana, and they don't have a clue who we're talking about in Henry County or Delaware County or wherever in East Central Indiana. This is the same thing that's happening everywhere. It's happening throughout all of the United States right now. There's some kind of bizarre ordeal going on in prosecutor's office and in the judges' courtrooms and in their chambers constantly across the board, and it's absolutely disgusting. But I think what we see here, the first problem is the plea agreement that has been offered. This should never, ever have been offered to this man. First of all, as you brought up, depending on when those various other charges were, this guy is very likely a habitual offender. They should have been able to nail him for being a habitual offender.
Well, but weed's not a felony. Public intox felony.
What are his other charges?
You got the article, dude. I just sent it to you.
Yeah, but what did you say they were?
Battery, public intox.
Okay, so the battery could be.
Yeah.
Didn't you say he had a theft?
Yeah.
That's 2. So we need one more felony.
Weed, driving while intoxicated.
Okay, neither one of those. Driving while intoxicated could be a felony.
Either way, to me, he's got the full fucking spectrum of crime. I'm gonna do a little bit of theft here, and I'm gonna do a little drinking and driving. Clearly, I don't have just one freaking bad thing that I do. I like to just break the law in every aspect there is. But
that's really sad.
And you can, break it down and say prosecutors were up. At the end of the day, the final say came to Witham, and he failed. And I can even look at the other side of it and say, well, maybe they didn't want this 10-year-old girl to have to testify.
No, that's fine. Offer a plea deal. Make it more stronger than what you're doing here. Do a plea if you're going to.
If on the count that they charged him with had a max of 6 years, give him the max.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, that's just my rant. I'm done. I'm so sick of Henry County. I have such a love-hate relationship with law enforcement right now and judges, because I spent my entire life wanting to be a cop, wanting to eventually go to law school. And I look around at Henry County, and it is a fucking joke anymore. And it is sad, because there are people who live there, people who are trying, and we are humiliating. I mean, it's an embarrassment, dude. It's an embarrassment. I just can't. I'm speechless.
Okay. So let's kind of transition from there. And generally, we'll talk about various things, and we'll talk about life and different things, but there is a big thing going on in Rachel's hometown in the county, and it's something that I follow definitely on the other show, and we talk about these things. There's a big ordeal going on there, but before we get to that, I want to ask you about this other thing, because I'm taking some heat, actually, and maybe we could get the viewers' opinions on this show. I'm going to talk about this. If people want to go into more depth about this, I'm going to talk more in depth about this on my other show on episode 546, which will air on Sunday the 26th. And then it will always be there for replay. But I'm going to talk more in depth about this. But the sheriff, the actual elected sheriff that you have, the elected sheriff that you guys have, the actual elected sheriff, John Sproles, who has had a whole long list of craziness happen over the last 2.5, 3 years that he's been in office. And I've had issues with him, and I question him. He's very new. He's not like somebody that's done 20 years in law enforcement, and then at the end of his career, he ran for sheriff. This is a man who, at the time he filed to run for sheriff, he only had 2 years on the department. And by the time he ran, and by the time that he won, and by the time that he was getting sworn in, he was still under 5 years of law enforcement experience. So I call this man the FNG, the fucking new guy. He's that's a term in law enforcement for, the people who are kind of razzing and harassing the younger guys. I have had a problem with this man's his experience, his knowledge, his training, his level of expertise or not level of expertise, his ability to train or his ability to not be able to train, inability to train, his leadership or lack of leadership. I've had a lot of questions about this man. And I want to say this, and we're going to talk about this. I'm interested in your take, because this is a very delicate subject. I always say on my other program where I talk about politicians that I only focus on the politics, what's going on. So I don't deal with politicians' kids. I don't deal with their personal life. If you've got a city councilor that's sleeping with a police officer, I don't care. As long as like that crossover, that affair or whatever, if it interferes with their actual public service, now that's different. But if you've got people that are doing weirdness and it doesn't affect their public life, whatever, I don't talk about personal issues. If somebody's sick, first and foremost, I might politically hate somebody and really want to trash them and out them. But at the end of the day, I don't make it personal. I don't wish bad on anybody. I don't want anybody to be sick. You know, there's people that get
nobody.
What?
No one you wish bad on.
Not like that. Not like, yes, this person's got cancer now. Ha ha ha. I just know I'm not that person. I really don't.
I wish he would stub his toe every once in a while. Bump his head.
Yeah,
maybe.
that kind of thing, whatever. But I don't wish ill of someone. I don't want something bad to happen to somebody. I want someone, I say all the time, I don't want this person to be in office anymore. I want to make sure this person's not in office. They shouldn't be in a position where they can hurt people or not help the people they're supposed to help, or they can, lord their power over people. I say that all the time, but I don't want anything bad for anybody, even my political enemies. That said, and the reason I put this up there, because it's very important. Again, like, for example, if somebody came to me and said, City Councilor Joe Smith, made up person, made up city, whatever, this person's had a mental breakdown and they're going crazy, okay? I really wouldn't talk about that. Now, if that person stopped coming and couldn't come to meetings, and they weren't at the meeting for several, months in a row, and they're still getting paid and whatnot, I would have a little bit of issue with that, and I would talk about these absences. But I don't get into the whole mental breakdown stuff. I don't talk about people's personal health, personal mental health, physical health, and all that. But there are certain situations where it might be relevant. And I say that because back a couple weeks ago, a message came through to me by kind of a really strange source, actually. And I'm not gonna out this source, but a situation came to me where there were people who were asking for prayers for the current elected sheriff of Henry County, John M. Sproles. And the reason that they were asking for these prayers for the sheriff was it was stated that this man had a bicycle accident and had hit his head and had some form of head trauma. And it's like, okay, well, that could be serious. That's not good. But like, what, I kind of joked. I was like, well, how would we know if he had head trauma? He's made so much bad decisions, whatever. But I don't wish him bad. I don't wish ill on him. So, okay, my thoughts and prayers, yada, 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 whatever. Well, then shortly after that, somebody had come to me and said, that's not the real story. That's what they're calling the quote unquote, the official story. There's the real story and there's the official story. And the official story is that there was some kind of bike accident, but the real story is something much different. And I was like, okay, like, what is this? And people will bring this to my attention. And I didn't run with it straight away. I have been looking into this to make sure that things are legitimate here, because even though I talk on my other show about opinion, I still like to be as factual as possible. So last night, some information came to my attention that just absolutely, it basically solidified what I had been hearing. So I made a Facebook post and put this out on social media. I've been on a little bit of break from the other show. And obviously, as we said, we missed last week because of this death in the family or whatnot. So I've been putting stuff together for my show tomorrow. I'm coming back after a week off. And I put out on social media the following post. I just simply said what we reference John Sproles. Anytime I talk about that in Henry County, I always put a hashtag Sproles Watch. It's something we talk about on the other show. So I put Sproles Watch. Should the citizens of Henry County, Indiana, be concerned about the mental well-being of Henry County Sheriff John M. Sproles? Stay tuned for more. And that's all I posted. Now, I'm not saying he's crazy. I'm asking a question. Based off things that I've been hearing, I'm wondering, should the citizens of Henry County be concerned about this? Now, I'm not saying anything more. I just put that information out there. And I got a couple people that, messaged and said like, hey, he does some weird stuff all the time. And I've heard this and I've heard that and yada, 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 and this and that and this and that. And then a couple people said like, hey, I don't think it's appropriate what you're saying. I think that this is wrong. This is gross. You shouldn't be talking about anybody's mental health. So I went on and I put an edit, and this is what I want to know, what your thoughts are about what I say here. And I want to hear what your take is on this. This edit I put out at 2:30 p.m. today. And I said, we here at the Political Spotlight, my other show, we are still working on gathering all the details about this situation. But I want to be completely clear of a couple things. Although I am not a fan of Sheriff John Sproles, I question his leadership or lack thereof, and I take issue with many of the sheriff's behaviors and actions. He is a human, first and foremost, and I wish no ill will toward him. I don't approach politics that way. I hope the sheriff is healthy both physically and mentally. If he isn't, my prayer is that he receives the best care and treatment possible and recovers from any and all issues. However, I'm jumping ahead. All right. If this information I am receiving had been about a state representative, a city councilor, or a mayor, it probably would not have been something I would have even covered. I was going to leave that out because I'd already said that, but I'm just going to read it as I put it. However, the fact that Sheriff Sproles is a law enforcement officer who carries a badge of authority and has the authority and the ability, the power to take a person's freedom and liberty by locking them behind bars, and because he carries a gun and has the authority to take a person's life, it is only right that we examine any and all instances in which his ability to make sound decisions could be in question. Looking back, I believe Sheriff John Sproles has already mishandled several situations even before this information has come to light. So while this is a delicate situation, and as humans, we should wish only the best for the sheriff, realistically, given his position and his ability to take a person's liberty and life, we must ensure that he is fit for duty. Lastly, to those that question why we focus on this issue instead of others in Henry County, I simply say that we are examining all of them. No situation is overlooked in favor of any other. We are also reviewing issues across central and east central Indiana, the entire state of Indiana, and the nation. Some matters take more time than others, but we will address as much as we possibly can when information about those situations become available on all fronts. For those interested in more information, blah, 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 blah. Now, what I want to know is, what say you? Do you think that I deserve the hate that I'm getting? Do you think that what I'm saying is correct, not correct? Where do you fall on that?
I kind of fall on both sides. Okay, and I'll explain myself. Do I think that we need to know the specifics? No.
Right.
I mean, public safety is stressful. Shit happens. And I mean, if this guy has caused the county so much money from doing stupid things that he should be stressed. He should be ready to go off the deep end because of all the shit he's incurred upon the county. But I don't personally need to know what's going on in his personal life.
Back up. I'm not asking because I don't care about that either. I'm hearing information. I'm not specifically putting that out. What I'm wanting to know is, I guess what I'm asking is if something has happened, and it doesn't matter what that thing is, if something has happened that, say, has caused this man to be mentally unfit to carry a gun, is to me, as a former law enforcement officer, someone who has had a gun, as a former law enforcement who's pulled a gun on people and have been in situations where I could have easily pulled the trigger. If I wasn't mentally at myself, people deserved a right to know. And hell, I wasn't an elected figure. I wasn't an elected person. I was just a regular police officer. I'm just saying, I don't care about what brought him there. I'm just saying, if there is an issue, is that something that people have a right to question?
Well, you didn't let me finish.
All right, go on.
We don't need to know. What needs to happen is the correct people in place. For instance, I do know that he's off work right now. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Now, and I'll tell you, the rumors are going around. I've heard them, like, well, it really wasn't a bike wreck. He's having, and I told you this, I believe he did have the bike wreck. I believe that, I think that, anyways, that's all relevant.
Yeah.
If, let's just say he's having mental issues, and let's just say he's off work for that.
Okay.
As taxpayers, if, like with anything, he is off work for an extended period, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, there needs to be updates, because we have the right and deserve to have someone in office doing the job. So if he's not doing the job and not capable of doing the job, then he needs to be sent for a fit for duty.
Sure.
And
see,
he's
different. He's different.
Let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give an exact reason why. Did you just see the Kentucky sheriff that shot and killed the judge?
Yep.
And the reason the city cop, the police chief of the city, days before was reporting he's out of his mind. He's out of his mind. And so, there needs to be accountability. I feel like that we all don't need to know the down and dirty of this guy. It's not, we just need to know, kind of like with Judge Witham. We deserve to be protected and we deserve to be represented. I don't need to know the down and dirty of it. I just need to know that there's somebody handling it. And then if he is mentally not in the best place, that he is not in work, does not have a badge, and if he's not getting better, then he needs to be booted.
Okay, so first of all, I got to say to you, he's not some rank and file person, the fitness for duty. He's the elected sheriff. And you come in, you give him a fitness for duty, and they could say he's mental. They could say he's completely off his rocker. He don't just leave the office.
Well, that's
he can't be removed. It's state of Indiana.
You're right. You're right.
And let me ask you this. Again, and I'm not fighting or pushing to say, oh, this is what I'm hearing. These are the rumors. I'm just saying, look, because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say right here what I heard. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. I'm not going to say the things I've heard, that whatever's gone on with him has caused him to be in the hospital, and that he was in the hospital for an extended period of time. He's been released from the hospital, and that he's now staying with family members. And what I've heard is that somebody that, to my last understanding, was a sergeant, is now acting as like leading sheriff. To me, I'm like, wait a minute, why is the chief deputy not doing that? Why is the chief deputy not now in charge of the department in the stead of the sheriff? If the sheriff has undergone a surgery, let's say the sheriff has to undergo rotator cuff surgery, shoulder replacement, okay? Those are normal things, and maybe you try to push them off till after your time in office, but maybe you just can't. Maybe he's out there with his guys and he tears something and he needs to have emergency surgery on his shoulder. Okay, he's out. He's out for 3 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever. He has a chain of command. The chief deputy should be the leader, and then you follow down the chain of command. You don't say, well, okay, I'm going to put Sergeant, so-and-so over. And I don't have any other ill will towards anybody on the department. I have serious questions about the sheriff. But my whole thing is, number one, we're talking about Henry County. You said the right people should be in the right places to do the right thing. Well, I can tell you a situation where they were also in those right places, but they didn't do those right things. When you've got people going to them and saying, hey, the people in here are raping all of us guys in this prison. We've got the sheriff taking us out. We've got, the corrections guy doing this and this. And those people didn't do the right thing. Right. It's Henry County. you guys have a history of not doing the right thing. So my question is, if those people aren't going to do the right thing, if Sproles and his team's not going to step up and say, hey, look, sheriff is a normal human being. We're all humans. We all have things that happen. And right now he's under a lot of press. He doesn't have to tell us what it is. He's under a lot of pressure, and he's going to step down, and he's still the sheriff. Okay. Whether you agree or disagree with that, but he's going to step away. He's not going to be doing anything. He's not right now. We're going to hold on to, he, in my opinion, if he's got some kind of mental health issue, he shouldn't have access to weapons.
Right. Well, because at
if
the end of the day, he should be like every other citizen. If you have a mental issue, you don't have right to guns. So why is he any different?
Well, I think that could get a slippery. My whole thing is, it just shouldn't be, because you brought up a great point about the fact that because the insurance company has dropped him. The insurance company, Travelers Insurance Company, dropped Henry County because they didn't say the sheriff's department's crazy. The sheriff's department is uncoverable. They said the sheriff, the elected sheriff, is a high risk. And those were their words. They considered that one single man a high risk. And because of that, they dropped the Henry County Sheriff's Department and Henry County government as a whole. They dropped them. And that really hurt you guys as taxpayers, because you had to get another insurance company, and it skyrocketed the payments, and it's just absolutely crazy. So my worry is, if you don't have somebody like me digging through this stuff and putting this out there, who would know?
Well, I mean, so let me ask you this, because I love to do this with you. You're putting it out there. Have you called the commissioners and voiced your concerns to them?
Have I?
Yeah, the council.
Well, so I started sending emails. So again, keep in mind, I don't just hear something and immediately just start running with it. I like to find information. So this has been something I've been working on and off. The night I first heard about this, I contacted you.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about it. And when I first heard about it, you actually told the person that, or when the person told you, or I don't know if you told the person or you thought, well, Bilbrey's not going to run on this because this isn't something he normally talks about. Or at least you told me that you thought like you won't have any interest in this. I kind of didn't. Like I greatly, and the person who knows will know this. And if you hear this out there, you lady, you'll know who you are. That's all I'll say. I appreciate the information. And I normally don't cover things like that on people, because it's, it's not my right unless it interferes somehow. But because of his position, because of the things that he could do, if he just says, well, I'm okay now, I can go back to work tomorrow, and he goes off and something sets him off and he makes a bad decision, he could really change somebody's life forever.
I mean, in his defense, all the dumb things he's done already has definitely affected people's lives.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right.
I mean, all 11, 12 of them, because there was a new one added.
Yeah. So,
I think that the public needs to kind of be aware, but do we need to go all the way down and get all the specifics? No. Hey, I think that we all deserve to know what's going on with any of our, when you run for office, you open yourself up, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it's something that could affect us, we elected him. He works for us. But I also think at the end of the day, we need to be humans, just decent human beings, and look behind the motivation. Are we truly worried about it for the safety of us? Or are we doing it because we don't like him? And so, I think a lot of people are fired up, really wanting you to throw things out there to be hurtful to him. And it should be really looking at why you're doing it. Is it truly to
Mhm.
educate, or is it to stick it to him?
Well, my my thing is because
And
I've
he's
yeah,
not
yeah,
been
yeah, yeah,
he's been mean to me.
yeah, and see that's the thing. Wait, what did you say?
He's been mean to me.
Okay, okay,
He tried to bully me.
okay, okay. Well, and that's what he does. He, I get people all the time that say, "Is he racist?" I, I don't think he's racist. I think he looks down on everybody.
I agree.
I think he looks down on everybody. That's the one thing, and I think that shocks a lot of people. I think he does a lot of racist things, and he says a lot of racist things. Like you can go back. I don't have to say that. He said it. He's called them like people in the bush and that they're uneducated and just crazy things he's done and said about people of color and specifically black people. He's said very wild things and he's done very wild things to people that are black. And it's crazy to me. But outside of that, I think that he looks down at me. He thinks he's better than me. He thinks that I'm, that's the reason he tried to bully over on you. He looks down at people
He
that
is
he sees. What?
he is that stereotypical douchebag. He knows.
Yes.
I mean, he's a nice looking guy. I'll give it to him. He's
Yes.
an ugly
Yes.
guy. He's got decent build. He's got
Yep.
decent amount of money, and he
He
thinks
did.
he's just a little bit better than everybody else.
He is. He is. He is.
Then
He.
you throw the Lord behind him,
Yeah.
and he somehow, even ruins that. He could do so much better with his work and being a Christian, and he doesn't.
Yes.
He is somebody that could go either way, use his looks, use his, being able to be well spoken and use it for good. And he's a douchebag. He's just
He flips it all around.
Mhm.
It's so bad. And listen, and I'll even give him credit in this post and saying, because I have a lot of people that say, well, look at what he's done with all this thing with Henry County. I don't think he had anything to do with all that. First of all, he wasn't around. He was not in the
Are you
mix.
talking about the sexual abuse?
The sex stuff, yeah.
Oh, I don't think he had anything to do with that. Absolutely not.
And I think if he knew of any of that was going on, I think he'd bust those people out. Because
I
what
agree.
would make him look better than calling out some corruption or this or that? I think he would do that. I think he would look down on those people as he rightfully should, and I think that would be a thing. So at the same time, I don't like him. I don't want anything bad. And people be like, yeah, right. Look, I had somebody message me today and laughing about the situation. And I didn't respond back. And this person, if they watch the show, they may or may not know I'm talking about them. I didn't think it was funny. I don't think what's going on with him. I've maybe cracked jokes or I might say something stupid, but deep down as a human to human, I don't think what's happening with him is a funny thing. It sucks. It sucks for him. It sucks for everybody in his orbit and everything that's going on. And I hope that shit gets, look, the bottom line is, I do this. I've been politically active for the better part of my life, and people can buy it or not buy it. But I do this. I'm doing what I do for the right reason. I'm not doing this for clicks and videos. If I was doing this for clicks and videos, you know what I would do? I would do a podcast about music or a podcast about history, and maybe it would be something that people would like a whole lot more and click onto. We should be doing that. I don't do what I do on the other show specifically because I'm trying to be like, oh, look at me. I'm trying to make things better.
First of all, how do you sit in your chair and not move? You literally can step behind your microphone and not move your body. How do you do that?
I've been doing this for a long time.
Fucking drives me insane.
Yeah, I've been doing this. I was literally reading and I was watching you and I'm like, what in the hell is she doing?
I can't sit still.
I've been watching you and I'm like, what are you doing? It was bugging the hell out of me. So I've got a monitor here, as you know, got a monitor here. I'm looking through and I'm looking over here and I'm doing all this and I'm like, what is she doing? I started to think, I almost stopped and I was like, are you trying to get my attention?
No, I can't sit still. I've also got my phone. I'm just like ready to like.
Yeah, I was like, dude, what in the hell? Oh yeah, I can sit here. You know, other than moving my hands and it's a lot tighter screen than the other show, but so I don't move my hands on this show as much. But you know, I do this one. You know, which remember, what hand is this? What?
Am I you?
You are pointing at me. You did get that. You did get that right. Oh, look at that. Look what you popped up on the screen. That's so horrible. But I will tell you in that same vein, remember, if you are interested, ladies and gentlemen, you can get merch, which you can get on Rachel's side right there, over there. Point to it. Oh, ding, 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 ding. See, it only took one time, ladies and gentlemen. That's
and
so
look how
amazing.
fast I got in the duck with no.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I don't think people here know what we're talking about, but
I mean, I really feel
that's
like
the
that
studio.
I'm taking most of the headaches of this show on, and
You are. You absolutely are. You absolutely are. Yes. So, well, I agree with you. I agree with getting back to what we're talking about. I do agree with you.
I think that he needs anybody in this position. If there's something, just give him a, if it was something that you normally would talk about in 2 weeks, if he's still out in a month, then it's time to start asking questions and maybe start prodding. But if and I don't know how long he's been off, but if he's only been off, like a week, dude, give him some time. Like it's just, I don't know. But also we deserve to know, and I hope somebody's keeping an eye on it. And
that I am.
on a different topic, the problem I do have is, you're right, a sergeant shouldn't be running. So that right there says that Sproles don't know what the hell he's doing in the fact of the chain of command.
Well, and I want to double check because I was just told that today. Now, I was told that by a very reliable source. I was told that, and I have because we don't talk about this, and hopefully we won't. But on the other show, I talk. There are people in my life that are sources that I use. I don't consider myself a journalist. You're never going to hear me say I'm a reporter. I consider myself a political commentator. It's an opinion thing. I still use sources, and I still try to get as factual information as possible. So I have people that are on the insides of these governments and, work at the state house or work at the mayor's office in Muncie or that work for the city of Newcastle or work, for the Henry County Sheriff's Department or wherever we're talking about. And I get people that tell me things, and some of those people I put in a category. And if they tell me something, I'm like, okay, that's great information. And I've got to do extra research and find out and be like, all right, if that's true or not. And then there are some that's like 50-50, 50-50, 50% of the time they're right, 50% of the time they're wrong. But then there are people, and there's just a very few of them in each place, that every time they've told me something, it's been straight on. And I still do my follow-up work, but really I don't have to. If they call and tell me something, it's the way it is. And so that's the person that told me this is that one of those kind of people. And I have no reason not to believe them, but I will look into this because that's not how it's supposed to go. I mean, it sounded crazy as soon as I heard it. I was like, wait, because I heard it and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But then I was like, wait a minute, he's not the chief deputy. The chief deputy is Josh Smith. Josh Smith should be leading the thing.
Couldn't anybody just call up and be like, hey, if I have an issue, who do I talk to?
I'm going to text Josh Smith tomorrow morning. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to text him and say, hey, I'm hearing that the sheriff is out. My question is, who is in charge at the sheriff's department? I'm just going to text him, and I've got his phone number. I'm going to text and ask him.
What if they say you?
Listen, about 2.5 years ago, I made a post stating that I was the sheriff of Henry County. And so it is me. Totally, it is me. I'm kind of like the exiled leader, but I am the de facto exiled, whatever you want to say, whatever cool political term you want to give. I'm going to start wearing like a uniform with a sash and a red little hat. this is such a weird show, and I apologize, folks. Things are going to get more settled here. She's sick. I've been all discombobulated over the last week. It's going to be a good show. Let's just get the kinks worked out. What?
I just needed to get the bitching out today.
No, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And I wanted to talk about that and do all of that, and also talk about the sheriff and those thoughts, because listen, I get, like, people message me right away and they're like, ooh, not cool of you to talk about mental health. And, like, look, I know it. I understand. Like, it's not something that I'm not happy about it. Like, I wish this wasn't happening, but man, this dude has it's like city councilor. If city councilor John Doe has a mental breakdown for whatever reason, they really can't affect my life a whole lot. Like, we can bitch and moan if they don't come to meetings, but they're not going to, like, shoot me unless something crazy goes on. But John Sproles has the ability to really fuck up somebody's day.
I still don't know that I believe it.
Oh yeah, maybe I've not told you everything that I know, because we haven't talked. I'll talk to you off air. The information that I've been told between yesterday and today is 100% factual.
We will never know, thanks to HIPAA.
Oh no, we will know.
I don't want to know.
We will know.
My hand in the okay, but then also,
that's a good, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, because somebody, and keep that point. This is very good, because this is a you question. Somebody said, I hope when he gets out, he sues you because you're violating HIPAA. And I said, not me, said I. I'm not his doctor or his nurse or his therapist. If somebody violates HIPAA and tells me, that's on them. That's not on me. Now, I'm not saying that I would put out something if somebody did it, because let me tell you, I've been in a lot of places where people have violated HIPAA. All kinds of different people. Mm-hmm. Doctors, nurses, dentists, EMS people, all kinds of different people. And that's something that just happens in my world. But I don't talk about those things or publish those things, because I don't want to get those, first of all, if I'm protected in my other role under media. So if asked under oath, I can protect sources. So I wouldn't divulge a source, but I have never burned anybody, and I will not do that to the point of going to jail to protect that. I will do that.
Wait, if on your other show, you're media and a political commentator,
it's the same here.
I'm not a political commentator.
You're not a political commentator, but you're I don't know what you'd be a talking head. It would be under the grader. Huh?
I'm just a normal citizen ranting on YouTube.
No, that might be, but if a source contacted you to tell you something, I don't think that you could be compelled to release that information.
Good enough.
If someone sued us, listen, I have been issued paperwork before, so there's a very good possibility that we could be issued paperwork on this program.
God, don't tell me that. He'll have a meltdown.
You're who?
My husband.
You're
he
who?
lives in the insurance world.
Yes.
That imaginary guy that you think.
But listen, you're protected. You would be protected. And that's happened before, so we're good.
Can't wait.
Yeah, right. And maybe it'll happen already. But no, getting back, and I want your point to come out, but I just wanted to ask that. So for the idiots out there that say this, again, if someone tells me some information and just because I heard it doesn't mean I'm going to release it, because again, it doesn't matter why, it matters the what. Is a person in a mental breakdown? That's the news. It's not about how they got there, because how they got there doesn't matter. So if a person is, in my opinion, unfit, and I say, hey, people, be careful out there and just know this, that's not telling people why really or what's going on. But just for the sake of argument, if someone tells me something and me, Christopher Bilbrey, I reiterate that information out. Why, Rachel Clark, can I not be in trouble for breaking HIPAA?
Because you weren't part of his patient care.
Simply put, I am not part of the person's patient care. I am not a doctor. I'm not a primary care physician. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a tech. I'm not a CNA. I'm not an LPN. I'm not an RN.
And it goes beyond that. You're not the person who checked him in at the front door. When they come in, if you have access to his healthcare records, if you have are there to hear any part of his patient care, you are obligated to not talk about it. But if you're Joe Blow out on the street,
I'm just nobody.
Like
it might be.
If you're a bystander, okay, this happens all the time. Somebody's overdosing in the street and somebody videos it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That would be like those people saying, well, you broke HIPAA.
Yeah.
For videoing that. No.
Yeah.
Dude, you're not
scared.
You're just out. It's there.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So if John Doe is overdosing in the street and John Doe is being treated by you, I can video it and be like, look, John Doe's overdosing on fentanyl, blah, blah. But if you then go on lunch and you tell cop friends, hey, John Doe, who weren't there, wasn't part of it, and you're like, John Doe overdosed, you're breaking HIPAA. But I am not, because I'm just some dumbass out on the street. So that's okay.
Whenever you call me when I worked at the fire department, and you'd be like, hey, such and such called me and this happened or this happened. I'm like, dude, they can't freaking tell you that. Like that is
right. Yeah. That used to happen a lot.
They told you, you'd be like, hey, I got a phone call and this. I'm like, I can't talk to you about this, and they should not be talking to you about this.
Yeah. That used to happen a lot. Mm-hmm. That was funny. I miss those days.
You know what? I don't.
Well, yeah, right. right. The other thing is, if a person dies, does HIPAA still apply, or does it not because that person is dead?
It does. Things change.
Sure.
So, like on the coroner side, a lot of times we can release things. We can, if it helps with to the funeral home, etc. There are certain circumstances, because when someone's alive, it doesn't matter. HIPAA is 100% all the time.
Yeah, across the board.
No exceptions.
The only way is through court order or something like that.
From the person. There are certain circumstances when it comes like law enforcement, criminal investigation, court, things like that. HIPAA can then it's not necessarily in effect, but 99% of the time, yes, HIPAA does still work even after they're dead. And I think I looked at it's like 50 years.
Okay. So, and please understand that this is just two very intelligent people. We're both very intelligent, but this is just two idiots talking. Disclaimer, we are not attorneys. This is not legal advice. So do whatever, act accordingly, govern yourselves accordingly. But it's on you. We sue us for something, but not for that. So, yeah, right. So,
okay, so we're supposed to talk about fun stuff.
What are you talking about? We've got like 10 minutes left.
I want to tell one thing that I clown on, because I have really been on a freaking tirade today.
No, that's fine. That's good. Listen, this is going to be a weird show. I told people that, and it's weird. We will make a concerted effort to have a positive show for episode 005. It will be, but yeah, tell us what you want to tell us.
If we're going to have a funny, positive show, can somebody give us some ideas?
No, I've got some things, but yeah.
You and I, 80% of the time, are doom and gloom, dude. That's what we are.
It is what it is. I think that's just what it's going to be. But it's the laughing. Yeah, it's like laughing and joking in between that I think people come to love. We could talk about total chaos, but we're still. It's not like we're emo. That's what your daughter's for.
No, she's a ray of sunshine.
I
Oh,
think we're talking about the wrong daughter.
can I tell you a funny story about Kendall?
You can.
This kid is smart beyond her years.
Okay.
She just turned 9 Saturday.
Yes.
And we went downtown. We did like a girls' day, stayed in Airbnb, did the whole downtown, but whatever.
Downtown Newcastle. Woo!
Yeah, no Indy.
Oh.
But she lets me know that she's going to call the health department and make a formal complaint on her school.
About what?
She is very upset. So
what are her current grades?
Straight A's.
Well, and there that goes.
She's pissed that she got an A- in art because she really feels like she does a good job and stays in the lines. So, I mean,
she's subjective, man.
She is pissed about her A-.
How do you get an A- in art?
I don't know. She doesn't understand either.
I would have an issue with that. I'm like, this is subjective.
Yeah.
Okay. So why is she calling the health department on her local school?
First of all, the fact that an 8-year-old even knows the proper people to call to make complaints on that.
Yeah, right. I don't know how that would.
Last year, she was in 2nd grade, and apparently a sink at the school quit working. And they've put like plastic bags over it. And this year, it's still not fixed.
Okay.
And she is quite upset because now a second sink has broken and they've put a bucket under it.
Okay.
And she feels like that the standing water in those buckets.
Yeah, holy mold, Batman.
Is trapping bacteria, viruses. It is just a health concern. And she is going to file a complaint with the health department. So Knightstown Elementary, if anybody is watching.
Oh my God.
Be prepared that it is my kid. She did it. I don't know if it's, she's going to do it. But yeah. 3rd grade, she is calling the school out. What do you do?
I from 9 to Karen. That is amazing.
We need to interview her. She's so funny.
I was going to mention this to you the other day. She's been hitting me up on TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
And like sending me random things. And so I was just messing with TikTok the other day. And I was just doing things and I didn't know what I was doing because I don't know how to TikTok.
She does. She could teach you.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I was just doing these crazy things and I was like, I don't know what I just did, but I was trying to send her back a message and I was just trying to be goofy because I don't know exactly what she's doing. She sends me some goofy stuff and I was just trying to be stupid, but then I sent her this goofy picture, but I just sent something stupid. Yeah, that's it. I just sent it to you. Did you get it?
Yes.
So that's what I sent her. And
I love it.
She sent something back to me and was like, what is this? I was like, I don't know. I was like, this is the extent of my TikToking.
No, she is super funny. Gonna make a complaint on the health department. And I mean, she's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, get in there and fix that.
Fix the sink. It's been a year.
Fix the sink. What is going on there? That's like something
that's
like
summer to fix it.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, right. It's because like now they've been back in school for a while now. And it's like, what? Why didn't you fix it over the summer? When is it going to be fixed? Why is it not fixed? Who's responsible for fixing it? Shouldn't be hard.
I guess she wants them answered.
If it's not going to be fixed, take the bucket off, like shut the water off to it, stop it from dripping.
Right.
Like, because that standing water is not good. I mean, now it's standing inside, so it's not like it's getting like bugs and stuff, but
my kid's the Karen that, is upset about it. Know that there's a couple kids who were like, ooh, dirty water. Let's play.
They're like playing in it. And yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I probably would have been. I probably would have been like her. I probably would have been like, what is this? What's going on with this? I definitely wouldn't have wanted to be by it or be near it. And I would have known, like, that's something's not good with that. But I've
I
had
would
a,
have been the kid that took that bucket and threw it on somebody.
yeah, right. I've had a fear of like black mold all my life and things like that. So I would have thought about that. I'm hypochondriac. So,
You
I'd
don't
have been like,
say.
get away from me. Yeah. I'm still having that nasty chicken food.
Hey, you know what you
Heartburn.
do? You freaking take some Tums, some Rolaids.
I've got some. I've got some of that.
Have you taken it?
No, I'm gonna do it as soon as we're off of this show, but it needs to happen. But it's not happened yet. The thing that what I want to do is I've not checked. We asked everybody at the end of the last episode about reaching out to us and seeing if they had any ideas they wanted or what they thought about interviews. I think if you and I can work out when we're going to record for this upcoming week, I think I might have a guest lined up for us for next episode. If that's something that you're interested in.
Nah,
What happened there?
I don't know.
That was weird. I think we might have a guest lined up that might be willing to come on and talk to us, and I think it'll be an interesting. It's the gentleman. So number one, I have talked more with the prison guy that was in prison, and that's almost a done deal. So I'll know on that real soon.
Is this the dude that was on death row?
That's the guy I'm talking about. Not lined up for this next week. The guy on death row, is almost a done deal. I should know more about that very soon. But the person I'm talking about being lined up is the guy that emailed and said that he was interested in coming on and talking, and he had a lot of different things we could talk about the criminal justice system, talk about addiction and things like that. I think that's something that touches a lot of people and might be an interesting topic. And I asked him, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the political spotlight? Are you talking about the Bilbrey Clark show? And he said either or. And I was like, okay, that's what I thought. So if that's something that you're interested in, we can work our schedule around his schedule and get everybody on. I think that might be something that we'll do, and something that'll be kind of interesting if that's something that you're into. What's that?
I want one day to be like a guest beginning to end on your other show because it's live.
You want to what?
Like beginning to end, be a guest on your other show because it's live. Like that's like overcoming my fear.
Yeah. Well, and I talked when we first started talking about this. I talked on the other show to the people that are listening that, we might, when we hit like a certain number of people doing things, if someone's interested in doing a live show over here, maybe we can do that. But so to help you overcome that, you can be a guest on the other show, and that can help you.
If I fuck it up, I want to fuck it up on your show, not on our show.
That don't bother me. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Here's the thing. There's no going back on live, So once it's there and once it's out, it's out. And I ask you questions and you say something. There's a freedom to that. That's the thing. Because when I first started, everything I did was like this. I would talk and do a show, and if I'm talking and recording and I say something stupid or I trip over my words or whatever, I'm like, boop, go back and fix it. And that's why if you go back and you listen to any of the Perception is Reality, it's like pristine. It's like reading an audio book because I can go back and fix it.
When I did my interview with the fire department, it was done like that.
Yeah. Right. And then I would go back and forth, and I was able to edit stuff out and, talk about something here and, ooh, that's out of order. I can put that all the way at the beginning. And so I was able to, change things all up and make a really good thing. And this is an edited thing. Now, I don't edit it as much. I leave a lot of, just the live feel here. So this is more like there's a difference. There's a show that is completely edited and has a bunch of stuff. And then there's like a live to tape. This is kind of like a live to tape thing. We hit record and we go. Now there's things that we cut out or whatever. And that's just what we do, but it's not as edited to where the live show, if you say something stupid, like let's say for the sake of argument, like I ask you a question and you gave an answer and then you decided to look that answer up and see that you were wrong. Then you could then say, oh, you know what? I was wrong. And you'd go back and you would give the right answer. But that's okay. That's live.
But I'm never wrong.
I'm just saying, I'm giving a for example, if you're someone else.
Yes.
And basically,
one day maybe one of us.
Yeah, if that had ever happened, then
you would go out and edit my wrinkles.
Yes, I do that. I turn on the
the
beautifaction. Yeah.
Can we do an entire show in Snapchat filters one day?
Yeah, right.
The other thing I do is I want to do a live and make you go get a mani-pedi with me.
I'm sure people would absolutely love that. I think that would be great. Oh, God, if I could show you my feet, you would be horrified. Horrified. I was born with socks and shoes on. That's just something that's very true. So to wrap up, because the last couple shows have been crazy long, so there's nothing wrong with ending a little early, just because you've been blah, I've been blah. The next show, either an interview or it'll be a good show. We promise everybody. Stick with us, folks. It's just early on. We're gonna get our roll. We're gonna get our groove on. Things are gonna be fine. I was so freaked out when we missed last week. I was like, it's the curse. We've made it to 3 shows now. We're never gonna do another show again. But
Ta-da.
It's gonna be fine. We're here.
Do you want me to FaceTime you next week so that you can see all the live bear running around where I'm at?
All the live what?
Bears.
Oh, yes. Yeah, wait. So when are you going to be... We'll be able to record. Will you record from there or will you be at home and we'll record?
From there.
You'll record from there at some point?
Yeah.
That's okay.
In the hotel room.
Yeah, we can figure that out. Now, what happens when they're like, hey, we got to go out. You got to be out from 6 till 2 o'clock in the morning.
So this show is not like, this was the World Expo. So, I mean, this is those deals where the presidents and founders of companies, this is the one time a year they come out.
Last show was.
And we meet and do things like that. The conference that I go to is a once a year deal, but I mean, they have multiple other conferences. And it's a couple nights, like the night before the conference starts, I'll be down there sitting up, but we don't always like go out. There's not always.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, do they sit around and drink moonshine down here? Absolutely.
Down there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Well, so next week you'll be live on the road. That'll be an interesting show. I might.
And it does not count as vacation. Let's just get that out there.
Oh man, we'll have to let the folks decide next week if it does or not. This last week did. This last week was a joke. You didn't even need to be in a hotel. You could have went home.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
It's only an hour.
But then like traffic getting in the morning, when there's that many people in Indianapolis and parking.
Lots of people do it. Lots of people do it every day.
But here is a fun fact. Ryan stayed with me. I drive home. I was exhausted. I was sick.
Yeah, last night. What time did you finally get home?
2:30 this morning.
Oh, that was ridiculous. I would have been like, you got to figure out another way out.
Yeah, I drove. I get home and she's like, Mom, I left my keys in your car. And I go, are you fucking serious right now?
You know what you could have done? You could have had Uber drive her keys.
But the cost of that
would have been worth my ass being in bed. Excuse me, she could have Ubered the keys from your house down there. She ate some pretty good dinners and didn't have to pay for it, so she should have had the money. That's what I would have told her. I would have been like, cast a spell and get the keys down there.
Oh, but also fun fact. Do you remember in episode 1 when we gave a shout out to Gustavo in Texas?
I do.
He was here all week with us.
Okay. Yeah. Did he say anything?
No, I mean, we just talked, but
he wasn't like, I watched the show and it was great.
Actually, what he had said was that he was listening to one episode. He'd been like, he hadn't got to listen forever. Like he'd been super busy. So when he sat down the first time to listen to the first episode, he fell asleep.
Oh my God.
And so, do you know what I thought of?
What?
Yes, I finally put someone to sleep. Like I got somebody to bed.
What are you talking about? You know how frequently you do that to me?
Shut the fuck up. We did go to Dick's Last Resort one night.
Oh yeah. How'd that go?
It was hilarious because I helped the waitress give tons of insults, and she said, "You're better than I am." No, she didn't say that. She was like, "You." And then I gave her some insults to give to the firemen as they came in.
Oh yeah, that's good.
They call them ketchup dicks.
Yeah.
So
well, good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was vacation, basically.
It was not vacation.
It was basically a vacation. Last week was a joke. You should have came home every night.
No.
And that would have been work if you would have came home every night.
No. And my put me up at the Westin. It was fabulous.
God.
Walk across the street to the bridge. On the bridge, so you don't have to go outside to the conference center. Life is good.
Yeah, that's good.
But that place is huge.
All right. Well, you get rid of your snots and dribbles and snibbles and all that, and your sore throat, and we will get rid of we'll bury our people and do that thing.
And we're waiting for everyone to let us know what they want to hear. The show, like Google speakers. We need input, people. Get it together.
That's what she thinks. She's never done this before. She doesn't understand. It's our job to give you the show. I'll let her know. We'll be fine. Send us some emails. Let us know what you think. If you are interested in coming on the show, if you have a story or if you're interested in being on the show, email us and we'll think about it. I don't know what I was thinking there. That could be really bad.
It's not going to happen.
You probably won't be on, but if you're interested, if you're interesting, we'll let you know. Email us. You know what the email is? The email is.
Hey, but they can't be more interesting than us.
Oh no. Yeah, that's the thing.
Line right there.
If you are, I just edit them to look bad, so it doesn't matter. It's fine. Email us as always at BC Showdump. That's Bilbrey Clark Show Dump at gmail.com. BC Showdump at gmail.com. And let us know what you think. We will be back next week for episode 005. It's episode 5 for all of you. And everything will be better from that point forward. From 5, once you hit 5, it's all downhill from there. It gets really smooth and good to go. So thank you all very much. Take care. Until next time, God bless each and every one of you. Bye.
Have a good night.
What? Why would you say have a good night?
Because it started at 3. It's an hour and a half.
Have a good week, everybody. Well, we got the intro. We'll work on the outro next time.
I hate you.
Goodbye.
That's a wrap for the Bilbrey and Clark Show. Be sure to like, subscribe, and or follow depending on the platform you're on. Follow the show on X at Bilbrey X Clark or on Facebook at facebook.com/Bilbrey Clark Show. And email your hot takes to bcshowdump@gmail.com. New episodes drop every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, X, and all podcast platforms, including the home site at bilbreyclarkshow.fireside.fm. That's going to do it for the Bilbrey and Clark Show. So be sure to share the show with everyone you know.